In this video, we're going to show you how to install suspension rods in this top-load washer. So to install your suspension rod, first thing you want to do is take a look at, are you just replacing one or are you replacing all of them? Ideally, you should be replacing all four. If one is worn and the tub's starting to go off a little bit, the same amount of wear that this one has, the other one has as well. So you want to do them in sets typically. Most machines, these rods are all the same. There are a few manufacturers out there that 3 are identical and one has a slightly different spring tension in order to compensate for the weight of a motor or whatever they have on the underside that's adding to the weight. So in order to be balanced, you have to have the right ones in the right place. If you do have a machine that requires one that's different from the others, you'll want to identify that and make sure that you change that one first, just so you know moving forward that the rest are just a matter of just popping them out, popping them in. But they're very easy to replace, and one of the things you'll want to do is just provide a little bit of lubrication to the bottom where it sets into the cup, as well as on the top where it's going to set into that cup as well. And typically the manufacturer has a special grease for it. If you don't have it, you can use a gear type grease, but it should be a fairly thick grease, just one that's got a little bit of tackiness to it, so that it provides some ability to move smoothly, but not so much so that it's going to be so slippery it's going to move around and make your suspension system almost ineffective. So just put a little bit on that. And once you have that lubrication in place, then it's just a matter of moving in towards your machine, moving the tub out of the way so you can get down in the location, slide it down into the bottom. There'll be a fork where you'll basically be sliding that in and bringing it up like that. And we'll show you that here shortly. So just support your tub assembly, lower your suspension rod, put the rod into the slot, pull that upwards. You now have the weight of the tub. So once you have your rod secured in the bottom location, you're just going to raise up your tub to take the weight, slide that into the frame, and then just lower that cup down into the receiver. And there's your suspension system back together. It's that easy to change those suspension rods. The other thing you'll want to consider is on your machine, if you have a hose that goes to your pressure switch, you may have, when you went to replace the rod, found that this pressure hose was attached to it by a clip, tape, maybe even just one loop around it. If it was there and it was secured in that form, just make sure you put that back. And then when you get your top lowered back down, you want to make sure you connect your pressure hose back to the pressure switch. So now with your suspension rods replaced, you'll want to just bring your top back down into position. So once you have your top put down back in place, and any connections that need to be made electrically for lid switches or whatever, you'll just want to make sure you got your screws put back in, hook up your water, hook up your power, and you're back in operation.